Forget formulas for a second. A function is a machine. Something goes in, something comes out, and the machine never changes its mind. Put in 3, out comes 9. Put in -1, out comes 1. Put in x, and out comes x squared. That last line is the machine. Written down, we call it the rule. Formally, a function connects two sets. Every value in the first set gets an arrow. Every arrow lands on exactly one value in the second. That's the whole definition, and here's the one thing that breaks it. If a single input pointed at two different outputs, the machine would be unreliable. Ask it the same question twice, get two different answers. So that's forbidden. One input, exactly one output. Now the notation which trips more people up than the idea does. F is the machine's name. The X in brackets is the input, a placeholder, nothing more. And the right-hand side is the rule. So F3 doesn't mean F times 3. It means put 3 into the machine. Wherever you see the placeholder, write 3. 9 plus 1. 10. Every machine has limits on what you're allowed to feed it. Watch the point slide along the curve. Its shadow on the horizontal axis is the set of legal inputs, the domain. Its shadow on the vertical axis is the set of outputs you can actually get, the range. For the square root, you can't feed in a negative, so the domain starts at 0. And you never get a negative out, so the range starts at 0 too. Different rules, different restrictions. 1 over x is happy with everything, except 0. Division by 0 has no answer, so we simply cut that point out. Here's how to spot a function just by looking. Sweep a vertical line across the graph. On the left, the line meets the curve once, every single time. One input, one output, that's a function. On the right, the line cuts the circle twice. One input, two outputs. A circle is a perfectly good curve. It just isn't a function. Most of the functions you'll meet belong to a handful of families. Linear, a straight line, constant rate of change. Quadratic, a parabola, one turning point. Exponential, slow, then suddenly enormous. And trigonometric, repeating forever. Learn the shape of each family, and you can read a graph before you read its equation. Transformations. Once you know a shape, you never have to relearn it. Add 2 to the whole function, and every output rises by 2. The curve moves up. Subtract 2 inside the brackets, and the curve moves right. Inside affects the input, so it moves horizontally, and it moves the opposite way to the sign. Multiply the whole function by 2, and it stretches vertically. Multiply by a negative, and it flips. For moves. Every graph you'll ever need. Machines can be chained. Feed 3 into G. 3 plus 1 is 4. Send that 4 straight into F. 4 squared is 16. Written together, that's F composed with G. Read it right to left, inner machine first. And order matters. Run them the other way round and 3 becomes 9, then 10. Same two machines. Completely different answer. Last idea, running the machine backwards. The inverse takes an output and returns the input that produced it. So every point swaps its coordinates, and the whole graph reflects across the line y equals x. Have and add 1, going forwards. Subtract 1 and double coming back. Do one then the other, and you land exactly where you started. That's what makes them inverses. This only works if every output came from a single input, which is why not every function has one. Domain, range, notation, composition, inverses. All of it grows from one sentence. One input, one output. Everything else is detail.